remembrance ceremony. At this time, I'd like to call the troops to attention. We'll have the raising of our colors by Chris Kiefer and Jimmy Cates. Detail, present arms.
Better be ready.
No, that right there.
Yeah, we can.
Please remain at attention for the playing of the national anthem by the Morenci High School Band. Now the placing of the small flags at the monument and the wreath. Orders, which proclaim this Memorial Day by Bailey Blaker.
The 30th day of May, 1868, is designated for the purpose of strewing with flowers or otherwise decorating the graves of comrades who died in defense of their country during the late rebellion, and whose bodies now lie in almost every city, village, and churchyard in the land. In this observance, no form or ceremony is prescribed but posts and comrades will, in their own way, arrange such fitting services and testimonials of respect as circumstances may permit. We are organized, comrades, as our regulations tell us, for the purpose, among other things, of preserving and strengthening those kind and fraternal feelings which have bound together the soldiers, sailors, and Marines who united to suppress the late rebellion. What can aid more to assure this result than by cherishing tenderly the memory of our heroic dead, who made their breasts a barricade between our country and its foes? Their soldier lives were the reveille of freedom to a race in chains, and their death a tattoo of rebellious tyranny in arms. We should guard their graves with sacred vigilance. All that the consecrated wealth and taste of the nation can add to their adornment and security is but a fitting tribute to the memory of her slain defenders. Let no wanton foot tread rudely on such hallowed grounds. Let pleasant paths invite the coming and going of reverent visitors and fond mourners. Let no vandalism of avarice or neglect, no ravages of time, testify to the present or to the coming generations that we have forgotten, as a people, the cost of a free and undivided republic. If other eyes grow dull and other hands slack and other hearts cold in the solemn trust, ours shall keep it well as long as the light and warmth of life remain in us. Let us then, at the time appointed, gather around their sacred remains and garland the passionless mounds above them with choice flowers of springtime. Let us raise above them the dear old flag they saved from dishonor. Let us in this solemn presence renew our pledges to aid and assist those whom they have left among us as sacred charges upon the nation's gratitude, the soldiers and sailors, widow and orphan. It is the purpose of the Commander-in-Chief to inaugurate this observance with the hope it will be kept up from year to year, while a survivor of the war remains to honor the memory of his departed comrades. He earnestly desires the public press to call attention to this order and lend its friendly aid in bringing it to the notice of comrades in all parts of the country in time for simultaneous compliance therewith. Department commanders will use every effort to make this order effective. By command of John A. Logan, Commander-in-Chief.
Eloy Montanaro will now give a Gettysburg address, which I feel is one of the greatest speeches that was ever written.
Fourscore and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation, or any nation so conceived and so dedicated, can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But, in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here have consecrated it, far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Abraham Lincoln.
This time we'll have a selection by music by the Morenci Band. Once again, I'd like to welcome you to our Memorial Day Remembrance Ceremony. I walked in my first Memorial Day parade 46 years ago. Very few of us, of those that marched that day, are here with us today. Most of those that are not here are at rest in the cemetery. It is with pride we honor them today. There are 3 veterans I would like to recognize today, and those 3 are from the greatest generation and World War II veterans. With us today is Tom Valentine, Wally Borton, and Sherry Bach. I'd like to thank these veterans for their service in the Great War of World War II. Thank you, comrades. If there are any World War II veterans out there that I missed, please step forward so we can recognize you also. I don't believe we have any. They're becoming a rare group again, as such as our World War I veterans was 10, 15 years ago. I hope you will all remember those that sacrificed today, that sacrificed their lives, and also their families that sacrificed their things for our future and our freedom. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the Mayor of Morenci, Bill Foster, for our address.
It's an honor to be asked here today as both your mayor and Army veteran. I understand and appreciate the importance of remembering the men and women who made the greatest sacrifice that anyone can make for their country. We give thanks today to all who have served and continue to serve so that we may enjoy the freedom that is offered in our great nation. We will forever hold these heroes in our hearts, not just today, but every day. I remember when I left for the Army and I saw my mother cry. We remember today all the mothers who sent their children to serve, and especially the ones who never saw them return. I remember my drill sergeant who told us after 8 weeks of training, "You have lived worse than a dog's life. Now you can overcome and achieve anything you want." The American Armed Forces have always overcame and achieved to a greater degree than any other force in the history of the world. It is therefore our solemn duty to always remember those that have fallen in the fight for our freedom. We must also remember the POWs and MIAs who have never returned. Corporal Harold Reed was finally brought home Saturday to Toledo after 64 years of being killed in North Korea. We must never waver in our dedication to our injured and fallen, as they have never wavered in their dedication to all of us. Memories such as the one shared by Tom Valentine in last week's paper of his friend McDougal should be read by all and never forgotten. The spirit of a soldier does not come from training or being in combat, or what branch of service you serve in. It comes from our fathers and mothers, grandparents and cousins, aunts, uncles, brothers and sisters, who gave all of themselves and showed us the high price of freedom. We remember them today so that the future generations will know how to stand tall when our freedom is threatened. God bless our veterans. Thank you.
This time, if Ron Apger would like to read a special poem.
Bear with me with this. The Old Oak Grove. From the battlefields of the Civil War, from the trenches and forests of Europe, from the South Pacific, North Africa, and Normandy Beach, from the Battle of Bloody Ridge and the Chosin Reservoir in Korea, from the Shaw Valley and rice paddies of Vietnam. They returned. They came home one by one, not standing, but draped with honor and embraced of old glory. They had given their all. Laid them down in Old Oak Grove, garden of stone where now they stand alone, guarding till the end of time. A brother and father, a sister, a mother, all brave of their kind. Standing out above all the rest, they hold their posts so brave, bringing honor to themselves in this sacred place. Life, they all chose to stand. Their posts of death, they continue with honor. This garden of stone, field of tears, will forever stand in place of sorrow. We speak of them with pride and reverence. They are now and forever our true heroes. We speak no more and lay down to rest. Their debts now paid in full. They owe us nothing. They gave their lives. In trade, they earned these holes. Forever they lay down in this honored place, we have always known as the Old Oak Grove. Men and women, known only as brave, who brought freedom to us all. Somewhere a bugle plays in a garden of stone. Other soldiers came to pass this day. The rest have welcomed him home. We call you Old Oak Grove. You're our place to rest. For our soldiers who were so brave. And one day we will all come to rest. By the honored, we will all lay. With respect, this was written to all the soldiers who are resting in the Old Oak Grove here in Morenci, Michigan. At this time, I'd like everybody to just be very quiet and listen. That's the sound of peace. Something the soldiers who lay here have earned. As you walk through the cemetery today, please remember and respect their peace. And think of them. Thank you.
This time I have a benediction by our chaplain.
Let us depart in peace and in love and charity with our neighbors. May we join together in the common good of service to our God and our country. Let us drive safely and carefully to our homes, and may God's blessings be with us all day. Amen.
Amen.
Sergeant Ash, perform your duty as part of comrades.
They're gonna shoot.
Put arm. Left face. Ready. Hey. Fire. Hey. Fire. Hey. Fire. Reset. Arm.
Order, arm.
Arm.
Let's conclude our ceremony for today. I would I'd like to welcome everyone out to the Morenci American Legion for our chicken barbecue this afternoon. If you don't want to attend the barbecue, please stop out and talk to some of our vets and thank them for their service. Thank you, and I hope you have an enjoyable day. Thank you.
Let me wipe you off a little. Daddy.